Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. And for those of you stopping by for the first time, thank you for coming over. Today is another anti-haul. Let me start by saying that this is not brand bashing, people bashing, anything bashing. I'm gonna keep it real. I can't buy everything. I got student loans, I got credit card bills. If I commit to buying new products every week, pretty much when new products come out nowadays, like there's something new. If not every week, every other week. And yeah, I would love to try everything. I'm an aspiring beauty blogger, and yes, it'll be great to get PR to review products for you guys so you can figure out if it's something worth your while, worth buying. I can't simply buy all the products to try because I just can't afford it. So that's why we have these anti-hauls, to reason with ourselves, with each other, to discuss, like, listen, it's great, it's pretty, but am I gonna love it? Am I gonna use it? Because you know what? I only have so much room. I only have so many dollars. That's why we're making this video. And it's all for fun, because who can't use a chuckle? Before we get in, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And click that notification bell so you know when any new videos have been uploaded. With all the details out of the way, let's get to it. I had to start with this because, you know, how could I not? The Kylie Cosmetics Vacation Collection. Chock full of the eyeshadow palette, lip glosses, metallic, lip matte in that purple shade, the highlighters. It's like a highlighter extravaganza in here. The loose ones and the palettes, as well as a bronzer and highlighting duo. Well, this is great news because it's all currently sold out, so I don't have to worry about changing my mind because it's not even available to buy. Great. I know this launched weeks ago. I just couldn't talk about it until now, scheduling, blah, blah, blah. So I'm still going to talk about it. I went into more depth as to why I wasn't going to purchase more Kylie Cosmetic products in my last anti-haul. It's nothing against her. I simply feel she's capitalizing on her fame, and I'm sure she knows a thing or two about makeup. I rather buy products from brands that have been in the makeup game for a while, that know makeup, brands that have tried different skin tones, different skin types. They just have that under their belts in terms of experience, in terms of knowledge. This is all for show, I feel. Did you see her snaps? She was swatching by the pool, so the turquoise matched the turquoise in the pool. And the highlighters look so gleamy because she was doing it on her deck and it was sunny. It was all a plan. How can you resist? It looked so beautiful. Those swatches look so beachy. I'm gonna break it down in a very practical manner why I don't need any of this stuff. Can we talk about how her highlighting palette is $64? She sold that sucker for $64. That's more expensive than a Huda palette, which, by the way, look identical. The square quad format, except the formula on Kylie's is more like a very soft consistency. If you were to dip your finger, it will have an imprint on the pan, and the effect is like that wet highlighting look, which everyone lost their panties over. It's okay, I don't need it. You can keep your panties off. Retail for $64. I was just blown away. Excuse me, $62. I'm on the website. Still expensive though for a highlighter palette. As for the Ultra Glow powders that retail for $14 each, I already have my Artist Couture by Mac Daddy highlighting powders. They're diamond glow powders, which I think do the same thing. And Mac Daddy is a makeup artist, and I actually love how he does makeup on himself and on others. And because he's done a couple of faces, I feel since he's tried different products, and when he created his own, he knew exactly what he wanted. And these diamond glow powders, I mean, are blinging. This is in the shade Illuminati, and just so you can see, I mean, that is like glowy. I have several other shades, and I think it's just so beautiful and will do exactly what the glow powders from the Kylie Vacation Kit will do. In terms of the eyeshadow palette, it has all these neutral colors and that pop and pull shade, that turquoise shade that, you know, everyone seems to be doing nowadays. Also, this retails for $54, I believe. You got your neutrals in there, and you could create a really lovely look. I decided to go the drugstore route and purchase the Cargo Aloha, I believe it's called. You had me at Aloha eyeshadow palettes. The color scheme is a little similar. Ooh, lost the sleeve. The color scheme is similar. You got your neutrals, you got that pop of yellow, that turquoise blue, which is not bad. It's not my favorite. Turquoise blue is pigmented enough. And it's more blue, I feel, than turquoise. And I think the shade in the Kylie palette is a little more blingy, which is fine. Because as we'll speak about in a minute, in the Jaclyn Hill palette, she has a banging shade in there called Poolside or whatever it's called. That is great. I got another teal shade in my Zulu palette from Juvia's Place. Great! So we don't need that. Okay? We can't talk about Kylie without talking about her sister. Kimberly came out with her contour stick set that I think retailed for like $48. Something like that. You get 2 contour sticks. The contour stick had a lighter and darker shade. The highlighting stick had a matte highlight shade and a shimmer one. And then you got this brush. That peculiar looking brush. Let me just say I was very entertained by all the beauty bloggers trying out these sticks. And a lot of them got invited to her party, so of course they were trying them out. And listen, you don't have contour sticks, these will probably be fun for you to use. The general feedback about them was that they weren't super pigmented. They blended out very easily, almost like to nothing. And if you wanted to achieve that natural contoured look, that soft chiseled look, here's why I don't need it. I rarely contour to begin with. If you've seen my summer skin foundation routine, the only contouring that I do remotely is using my Chanel bronzing base just to kind of bump up the bronze-edge look on my face. Not necessarily to contour, you know? I rarely do that, and I rarely actually use matte highlighting shades. I use my concealer to highlight, to hide imperfections, whatever the case is, that's what I use it for. I'm not that person to apply concealer and apply another matte shade on top. I just feel it's so much makeup on me, and especially now with the weather being humid and hot, it's just too much. And that brush. The brush side looks cool. Yeah. But the other side though, the sponge side, ooh. Sponge brushes, things like that, I feel just don't work. Just give me the whole beauty sponge in its entirety that I know is gonna work as it's designed to do so. Not on a stick. She did demo in her video that you have to wet it, but I just think it still won't work. When it comes to cream products, especially that consistency that her sticks take on, I'd rather just use my fingers because I feel it leaves a more natural skin finish. Definitely won't be using the beauty sponge stick. And the shimmer highlight, I feel like I'd rather apply a formula that's more wet, like my Marc Jacobs gel drops, my CoverUp drops, my new Sephora drops that I recently purchased, I think are really great. I wouldn't just draw on a highlight. If you are dying to go the contour route, but you're like, girlfriend, $48? What? I recently purchased the Milani Contour and Highlight Cream and Liquid Duo. It's very similar to the Kim Kardashian design. One side is your contour stick, it still has that bullet, and the other side is the liquid, which I prefer a lot better because it's more creamy and I feel it just blends out better. And this is what I use today. I used the highlighter here, topped it off with powders, of course, because that's what I do. And I used the contour shade today. What do you guys think? This is in the shade Natural Dark. And just so you see the contour shade, it's super creamy and it's brown and it's not too warm, and I think it's perfect for the summertime. And I love how it blends out. Blends out really easily. I didn't have a tough time at all applying this to my skin today, and I loved how it turned out. Why am I blurry? Sorry if I was going in and out of focus for that whole time. I'll try to be better this time. This was for like $12. $12. If you're into contouring and you're like $48 for 3 sticks that you might not use, consider the Milani duo. I really like it. I'll continue using it. So I don't need the Kim Kardashian beauty sticks. Yay! Next we have the Nicole Concilio and Violet Voss collab eyeshadow palette. Let's all say it, shall we? Here we go. It looks exactly like the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collab. No hate to Nicole, okay? No hate whatsoever. I actually have quite a few Violet Voss palettes, which I really like. The thing is, when you see this, and then you see that, you're like, the Nicole Concilio appears to be a more edited version of the Jaclyn palette. I included the Jaclyn palette actually in my first anti-haul, and I filmed an anti-haul confessions featuring this product. So if you want to check out my reasoning as to why I changed my mind, I'll link that video down below. The general theme is that you got your neutrals and that pop of color, right? Same thing she did here. You have your neutrals, your neutral mattes, your neutral shimmers, and that blue, which I'm sure is really nice. You know what I mean? I just can't keep buying the same thing each and every time. Like, come on now. The Jaclyn palette, I think it's beautiful. It's $38, which is cheaper than the Nicole palette. I think retails $45? Let me check, hold on. It's $45, so the Violet Voss palette is actually more expensive, and you don't get as much product as you do in Jaclyn's palette. Jaclyn's palette is currently sold out, but the Nicole one isn't. So maybe it's worth trying out if you don't like Jaclyn and don't like Morphe, but you still want that palette that has neutral and pop of color themes to it. Maybe check out the Violet Voss and Nicole collab. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. I will be a fool if I get that palette. I had the same exact thing in the Jaclyn palette. That's just basically how I'm gonna leave it. If it was a collab that was like all blues or all purples or just like colorful and not just neutral and pop of color, I will consider it. But nah, man, I got it. I got Jaclyn's palette, so I don't need Nicole's. Okay. Next we have the Kat Von D Glimmer Shade and Light eyeshadow palette. Now listen, I swatched this in Sephora and a lot of the shades were quite beautiful. They were very pigmented, some were creamier than others, but the ones that were creamy had a really buttery texture and the sparkle factor was just like pow. Realistically though, I would only use this palette as like a topper palette. For instance, I have my eyeshadow on now, but then I'll dip my finger in one of the glimmer shades and just pop it onto my shimmer shade on the lid just to give it a little more punch, a little more sparkle. I don't think I can justify spending $45 just for that function. If I would have received this palette for free in PR, sure I would have used it and I would have figured out different ways to apply it and blah 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 blah. I can't drop $45 on a palette that I know that I'm not going to use as thoroughly as a traditional one with mattes and regular shimmers. That's just it. The shades are gorgeous and the glimmer effect is on and popping because when I applied in Sephora, I was like, oh, this is pretty. I'm sure I have shadows in my current collection that I can use for the same purpose. And again, I just can't drop $45 when I know I'm only going to use it for one reason, just for lid toppers. So that's why we're passing on that. Oh, Huda Beauty Summer Solstice Highlighting Palette. In conjunction with, I believe, 4 new liquid matte shades that she launched with this palette. I spoke about Huda in my first anti-haul, and from then, Sephora has it in stores. I swatched it, and listen, man, I walked away without it. I tried the creamy shade, I tried the powdery shades, and they looked gorgeous. It seems that the general feedback on this palette, on her first ones, what they weren't as banging highlighting as people were expecting them to be. And lighting is crucial, and a lot of times when she applied her highlight, it was in this type of light that when you move your cheek, it was like bing! And several highlighters do that when you position them in the correct lighting. You know what I mean? In terms of the packaging, I almost had a little pull at my heartstrings because I had a thing with purple and gold. Oh. The color scheme in the packaging alone kind of like seduced me tenfold. But then when I looked at the colors, okay. The first shade, I love. It's like a champagne gold. That's nice. The second shade, we got like a rose gold thing happening. I love rose gold. Then you get into this pinky shade, which, okay, maybe blush topper. And then you get into the purple. Like, what am I gonna do with that? I don't know, man. Maybe I could put it on my cheeks? Or my lids? But that's awfully a lot of product just to use on my lids. You see what I'm saying? I was hoping Sephora would have it by now so I could swatch and see, but I don't know, it just seems so dumb to buy. Who knows how pigmented the pink and purple will show up on the skin? Like, I don't know if I want that as a blush color. Maybe I do. I won't dismiss it just yet because you don't know until you try, and maybe it'll turn out well. Let's see. As of now, I'm not buying this just for the sole reason of the pinky and purpley shades I find won't look great on my face. And that's all. And I think that's it, friends. Thank you for joining me on this anti-haul. Please let me know down below if you have any products that you were thinking about buying but you're reasoning yourself not to buy. I don't have a guilty section yet. I think my guilty section was my anti-haul confessions, which again I will link below so you can see the products that I bought when I said I wasn't gonna buy. I feel good about this anti-haul, except maybe the Huda Beauty highlighter palette, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll be strong and not buy it. The purple shade, If you have any of these products, please let me know down below if they worked out for you. Like, these are my reasons why I'm not buying it, and it shouldn't be Bible for why you shouldn't buy it. If you're just looking for another perspective and you're like, I need to hear someone speak about this product, if, you know, like, I need help, then this is why I'm here. And if you have the glimmer palette and you use it more than just an eyeshadow topper, let me know as well. What do you think? Definitely not changing my mind about the Kylie and the Kim. I'm good with that. Hopefully I will get this out in the month of July so I can focus on my August anti-haul because I'm sure there'll be new products then. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here next time with another product demo, review, tutorial, or anti-haul. Thank you again and take care, friends. Bye!